Okay, so I don't know about expectations or roles and all. Here's what do you gotta do?
I latched immediately onto the extra holiday time, so I'm definitely going to take more than 4 weeks a year off from now on, one week off a quarter.
But that's the core foundation of all of it.
You know, you work on your vision for your company and you work on growing your company. There's all of these other things that you also do during your day, and it's very easy to slide back into that day-to-day stuff and things related to strategic planning and your vision. They sort of sit in a corner and gather dust.
I want to know what allows me to generate a customer experience of value as I grow. That's what I want. That's the purpose, not something else. Don't turn this into something else. Big trap, waste of money. My name is Michael Walsh. I own a company called Kaizen Consulting, and what we do is we help people grow companies. And what we're going to talk about today is large-scale growth for small businesses. We're going to take a look at a whole methodology around large-scale growth, and there are 8 core steps that we're going to cover in detail. What do you want from your business? Excitement. Okay, so what form might that take? Is that like, you know, it's 10 a.m. and payroll's due at 4 and you're 23,000 short? Is that excitement? That's excitement. That one's easy. Great. How about here? What do you want from your business? Enjoyment. Okay, so specifically? Looking forward to getting up in the morning and getting at it. Okay, great. Thanks. So, you know, we find that there's a lot of common themes that occur here. Well, we find it quite often, there's a number of things that people want in business. They want growth in their business. They want personal independence and freedom. You know the guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki? He also wrote another book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And this is a model that he used, the ESBI, in the cash flow quadrant. We've adapted it for systems. An employee works in the system. Somebody who's self-employed is the system. A business owner has a system, and an investor funds the system. Here's the thing, the more successful you are, the more the business ties you to it. The customer experience of value is based on your personal experience or that of your team. Okay, well here's the thing, think about it. Most small businesses, what you do is you generally gravitate to whatever your natural capacity level is. Real estate company down in the States that we worked with, 2002, just before we started with them, $11.3 million in sales. And their sales is their commissions, about 200 real estate agents, okay? 2004, 2 years later, 29 million. Okay, now there's warnings, okay? First of all, growing a business, look it's not for the weak of heart. Let's not kid ourselves. It takes hard work, oh my gosh. However, not the work that you think. So what's needed? You need a shift in your focus, okay? A shift in activities, a shift in your habits, and a new way of thinking. There's your profit and customer value. By the way, that's the whole game. If it's a better deal for your customer to write you a check than it is to keep their money in their jeans or give it to your competitor, they will work with you. If it's a better deal for you to take their money and provide that service, you will work with them. The rest of this is just leverage as you scale. But that's the core foundation of all of it. People. 80% of all problems in business, once you hit a certain size, revolve around the people. How many people know the difference between leadership and management? Leadership involves inspiration, management is an organizational structure. Sure, sure. Management, very specifically, is about taking talent and turning it into performance. That's what managers do. Their job is to tap the talent of people and turn it into performance. It shows up on the bottom line. Leaders are about rallying people to a brighter future. And you know, people say, well, how do I hold my staff accountable? Well, here's the news. You do not hold your staff accountable. You cannot hold your staff accountable. They already are. How about holding them as accountable? Now, there's consequences in whatever we do, but if I hold you as accountable, I mean, there's consequences. You know that. You're already accountable. The fact is, how can I work with you in partnership to support you in your accountability? Did you know that being an entrepreneur is the most honorable profession? It's the most honest profession in the world. And it's not that you're all altruistic. It's that your customers vote with their feet. And it takes about 30 days. If you're off, they go. Well, here's the thing. If you've only got 5 people, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. But if you're growing, Remember growth? Oh yeah, that. When you're growing, you can afford to bring people in and you can shift the mix. So actually growing is an easier way to get this accomplished than if you're not. So you're separating these out. Now collectively, some people call this the job description. Don't go there. What are the to-dos? What are the skills and the attributes? So what are the skills I need specifically to do this role, and what are the attributes that'll fit with the company? The more specific I am, the faster I can weed out the people that don't fit and get real obvious when I have one that does fit. The more specific you are here, this pays huge. This is what leverage in your business is about. Now, a typical selection process that we look at, shortlist the resumes. So you actually see which ones are the skills and attributes. What are you going to look for when? Now here's the other side of this. Most people try to look at all the good things. Everybody's trying to present all the good things. Here's what I want to know. What are the bad things? If I do not see enough bad things for somebody, I know they're not an A player. Either they're hiding the bad things, which case they're lying to me, which case, do I really want them on my team? Or they haven't had any bad things because they haven't played big enough to fail. Now, here's another question I have. Has anybody here had any extended therapy sessions over the fact they can't touch the horizon? Not yet. Maybe about other stuff, but not about that particular one, right? Okay, good. So it's not a big issue or concern that you can't touch it? So we're not going to talk about that word. Let's talk about a different word. So ideals are useful because they inspire our goals. Boy, it would be ideal to get that. You know, if I got this big deal, that'd be really ideal. But then you get the big deal. Is that still what's ideal? What happens? It moves back, doesn't it? So the useful part of ideal is that it inspires our goal. The problem with ideal is measurement. Look at where you started your business. Did you ever think you'd be this far now? You may or may not, but you know what it took to get here, didn't you? Right? They call that the positive zone because it's based on positive ground taken and you just kind of feel positive. Okay? Now I know people who are incredibly financially successful who measure themselves in the A zone. And I know people who are incredibly financially successful who measure themselves in the B zone. Which do you think is easier? So actually it's harder when you're measuring yourself in the A zone than the B zone. And like I said, I know people that are very successful financially measure themselves in the A zone, and I know people that are very successful financially measure themselves in the B zone. What do you think the difference is? Yeah, the B people are happier. It's that simple. And this is not a big deal. It's just a habit. Remember the thing we're 100% disciplined to? We just got the habit of measuring ourselves against perfect. Use ideal to inspire your goals, absolutely. And then measure against where you start.